Welcome everyone. Welcome to today's lecture number 11 in the week 3 body systems for the basics of physiology for your phlebotomy study. The title of today's lecture is body fluids. So, we will basically be focusing on blood and its components. The objectives of today's lecture are that by the end of this lecture you should be able to state the normal blood volume in adults, describe the physical properties of blood, explain the composition of blood, what is the fluid part, what are the cellular parts, and list the functions of blood and each components, and differentiate between plasma and serum, and understand the relevance of blood components to your phlebotomy practice, like tube additives, when hemolysis is required, when clotting is required. So, let us start with the body fluids. So, total body water in human body is around 60%. By saying percent is like 60% of your body weight. Okay. So, if you are 100 kg individual will have 60 kg of water inside the body, like that. It is distributed, the fluid, the water is distributed as in different compartments, like there is cell. So, there will be fluid inside the cell as well, there will be fluid around the cell. There is intracellular fluid, the cell which is inside the cell. So, there are so many cells and all the cells have the fluids, right. So, that intracellular cell is almost 40%, okay, 40% of the total fluid. Then we have extracellular fluid, the fluid which is present outside the cell, it is not within some cell, it is outside a cell, it is just 20%. And if we see what is the percentage of plasma, plasma constitute around 5%, plasma is within the blood, and the interstitial fluid is around 15%. Interstitial fluid means in between two cells. So, of that total 60%, the 40%, the majority is within the cells, next 20% is outside the cells. Now, from in the outside the cells, in the fluid which is flowing in the vessels, the fluid part of that is 5% and rest of them are interstitial fluid. So, usually the blood, what we call blood is the liquid part is the plasma and the cells over there, the formed elements, the RBC, the WBC, the platelets, they together form the blood. So, if you remove these cells from the blood, what you will get is plasma. Phlebotomist mainly deals with blood, which is the only fluid which we directly collect apart from spinal fluid, right, or if you have some pus in some infectious areas. So, you collect the pus as well, it is also fluid. What are the blood volume and physical properties? Average adult blood volume in male is around 5 to 6 liters, in females it is little less, 4.5 to 5.5 liters, which usually comes around 70 to 80 ml per kg of the body weight. pH is usually 7.35 to 7.45, which means it is more than the 7 is the neutral mark. So, it is slightly, blood is usually slightly alkaline, okay. The alkalinity keeps on moving from somewhere little more alkaline to less alkaline, like that. Like when you have a good meal, then a lot of HCl is secreted in your stomach. So, basically that HCl is coming from your blood, the H plus is coming from your blood. So, that during after a good meal, if you check the pH of the blood, it will become more alkaline, okay. Temperature is usually the body temperature. Viscosity of the blood is 4 to 5 times thicker than the water, and color in the arterial blood is usually bright red because of the oxygenated blood. because it is coming from the lungs. After oxygenation coming back to the left side of the heart, getting pumped throughout the body through the arteries, that is bright red. And after it crosses the capillary where the exchange happens, it draws the waste, it gets the CO2 and then goes to form the vein. It becomes dark red, the venous blood, which is deoxygenated. If you centrifuge the blood, what you get are the different components of the blood are separated in different layers. Okay. So, topmost layer is the plasma, which is 55% and it is straw colored. The middle thin layer is the buffy coat, less than 1% of it. It has the WBC and platelets, and at the bottom the heavy ones are there due to centrifugation, the centrifugation force, the RBC sink at the bottom, and from there we get the hematocrit percentage, usually 45%, which is very red. The blood, which our blood is red because there is a huge number of RBC in them. Hematocrit in male and female, you can remember those values, always quote the reference like WHO, or your local lab values ranges can also be quoted, but you need to quote somewhere from where you have taken the value. The plasma, as we discussed, it is 55% of the blood, it is the liquid portion, okay, and the 90 to 92% of the plasma is actually water. And apart from water, what are the other 8%? So, rest of the part is the proteins, the we call plasma proteins like albumin, globulin, the fibrinogen. These are the different factors which help in to maintain the osmotic pressure, the balance of the fluid, okay. And they also help us in the coating hemostasis. When there is some trauma to the vessels, they help in clotting and plugging the holes, discontinuity. The electrolytes, the glucose, the hormones, the waste products, these are other contents of the blood. What is the function of plasma? So, transport of nutrients, hormones, waste products, maintaining the osmotic pressure, which is very important when you form the urine. It helps in our homeostasis to hold water inside the vessels, and in some places they need to release the water, the movement of. So, basically the movement of water is controlled with the help of these elements, which do that via guiding the osmotic pressure. They help in clotting like fibrinogen, and immunity providing is also important factor like provided by the globulin. What is the difference between plasma and serum? Plasma is the liquid which is left after you have prevented the clot. You did not allow the blood to get clotted, okay, and you have, suppose you have centrifuged it, and even if you do not centrifuge, if you just keep it there. So, basically it is slow centrifugation, because earth is still having the gravitational force on the cells. So, by centrifugation basically you speed up that sedimentation process. So, if you have not allowed the blood to clot, so then the liquid which you get is the plasma. It contains fibrinogen, because fibrinogen has not been utilized in the process of coagulation. But if you allow the blood to clot without adding any agent, in fact you can add agents which can expedite the clotting process, then the liquid what you get is called serum. In that there is no fibrinogen, because fibrinogen is already utilized in the clotting process. So, the tube types are based on this as well, which has a clot activator or which has an anticoagulant like EDTA, citrate, heparin, they all will prevent the clotting. So, you will get plasma. In order to get serum, you need plain red or SST tube. You must know which test requires serum, which test require plasma, right. So, that knowledge will help you to choose your vials correctly. What are the formed elements? The cellular components, almost 45% are the red blood cells, the erythrocytes, which is 99% of them. White blood cells are less than 1%, we call leukocytes, then they are platelets, they are called thrombocytes, and these cells are produced in the marrow, bone marrow, majorly produced in the bone marrow, We have already discussed that the single type of cell which lead to all different kinds of the cellular components of the blood, RBC, WBC, platelets, they are called the stem cells. Then they differentiate with multiple division, they become highly specialized, that one of those cells will only produce RBCs, one of them will only WBC, like that they specialize and they form by the process. That process is called hematopoiesis. Okay. And many times with the help of the just blood test, you can comment on whether on this process of hematopoiesis, that you can guess that there could be an issue with the bone marrow, right. Because if you see that all the types of cells have reduced, there is a chance that it is because bone marrow suppression has been there, because of some radiation, effect of some drug, or some conditions like in carcinomas, blood cancers as well. Okay. So, the red blood cells count is usually 4.5 to 5.5 million per mm cube. Shape of the RBC is very unique. It is biconcave, it is concave on both the sides. It is a disc. Suppose there is a disc which is concave from above and concave from below, that is the RBC. It is biconcave. The mature RBCs usually do not have the nucleus, the immature, the previous stage of the RBCs, they usually have nucleus. When they lose the nucleus, they become the mature RBC. Lifespan of a mature RBC is usually 120 days. The RBCs contain a protein called hemoglobin. It is the hemoglobin protein which binds with the oxygen, which binds with the CO2, okay, and it carries the oxygen inside the RBCs when the RBC travel in the blood. The hemoglobin content in males 13 to 17, females 12 to 15, should know the range, and the function is oxygen transport and CO2 transport. What are the white blood cells? These are the WBCs or the leukocytes. Count is usually 4000 to 11,000 per mm cube. There are different types of white blood cells, granulocytes, agranulocytes, and if we do not go by the classification, just name the cells, then we have neutrophil, lymphocyte, monocyte, eosinophil, basophil. This is the same sequence of if you arrange them in descending order. So, out of all the different WBCs, the majority of them are neutrophils. Okay. Then comes the lymphocyte, then monocyte, eosinophil and basophils. The function is majorly to fight infections and provide you immunity from foreign agents. The white blood cells are usually increased in cases when there is some infection, and we call, when the count is more than 11,000, we call it leukocytosis, and in certain infections their number might decrease as well, less than 4,000 we call leukopenia. It is decreased in viral and bone marrow issues. That is one of the example of leukopenia. Platelet count is usually 1.5 to 4 lakh per mm cube. The lifespan of platelet is just 8 to 10 days. The platelets are the thrombocytes are formed by the breakage of a very large cell which is called megakaryocyte, that breaks into smaller components of platelets. The function of platelet is majorly the blood clotting, the hemostasis, they form the platelet plug, and they also release various kinds of clotting factor and help in enhancing the process of plug formation. Relevance is, like in cases of low platelet conditions which we call thrombocytopenia, the risk of bleeding or hematoma is very high after venipuncture, and in cases where there is very high concentration of platelet, there is high risk of clotting inside the tube as well. So, these are different types of cells. What are the functions of blood? It is transport of oxygen, CO2, nutrients, hormones, waste, as we discussed. Apart from the transport, very important function of blood is regulation of pH, regulation of temperature. the temperature in our body, the temperature is regulated by a brain area we call hypothalamus. Hypothalamus anterior part, hypothalamus posterior, which call in the ventral part and dorsal part. So, they have neurons which are very sensitive to temperature. This is good information to know. And how the hypothalamus gets this information about the body temperature. So, it gets two kinds of information. One is it gets core body temperature, and second is ambient temperature. Okay. Ambient temperature it receives via the skin, the neurons, and the core body temperature it receives the information via the blood. If your core body is increased due to increased metabolism and all, so your blood will have higher temperature, it will go, and the hypothalamus, the neurons in the hypothalamus, they will sense, the neurons which are sensitive to higher temperature will sense, and they will do or immediately they act upon, they release signals to other brain areas, okay, and they will do things to maintain the temperature in the range. Like if you have high temperature, our body mainly has two mechanisms to lose the body temperature. One is vasodilation, that the vessels under the skin will dilate, you will become red. So, the easily from the here the cool air will cool your blood, right, just like AC. And the other is sweating. So, your sweat glands will sweat, you will produce more sweat, that will cover your skin and it will evaporate, taking away the latent temperature. So, reducing the temperature of the skin and losing the heat of the body. Fluid balance as well. Obviously, the blood is the one part where the fluid is, it provides the fluid to all the cells which need how much they need, it can provide. So, blood is the reservoir of the fluid for our body. Okay. When we have less of the blood volume, be it because of blood loss or because of less availability of water, we get thirsty, we drink water, water goes inside the stomach, inside the intestine, it gets absorbed, get back to the blood and raises the blood volume. Finally, protection, immunity and clotting. So, every mistake in collection affect these functions. So, wrong result might be there, as a result very importantly wrong treatment could be given. So, need to take all the precautions in order to avoid such outcomes. That is all for today. Thank you. We will meet you in next lecture.